Hello, Facebook Live.
Hey, hey.
Hey, Facebook.
Hey, it is the very first official Giving Tuesday Spicy Noodle Pastor Challenge, or Pastor Spicy Noodle Spicy Pastor Challenge.
It's just going to be spicy.
It's just going to be spicy. Now, we're just going to chill here for a little bit as people are logging on. I thought I'd tell you a little bit about Giving Tuesday, the worldwide movement that we've joined here as a part to support and really encourage community, build communities, encourage radical generosity. And they have an amazing definition of what they call radical generosity, which is that let the suffering of others bother you as much as your own. And so, yeah, and I love that. So all around the globe, people are doing different Giving Tuesday things. And I can't even take credit for this. This was off of originally a college group. I think it was like Singapore or something that was one of the first to do a spicy noodle challenge. And so, yeah, so this is what we're doing. We've got, let me introduce us here. We've got our Brooklyn Park campus pastor,
Okay.
Kong Moore. He'll be on the live stream as well, saying hello. We'll see who's on there. And then he'll also be tracking the giving through our normal giving platform, Rebel Give. And there's a link in the description. If not, just go to riverlifemn.com/give. And then you can select Giving Tuesday. And all the monies that get donated tonight or previously tonight will go toward us eating spicier and spicier noodles. And then to my left here, I've got Pang Moore, Kong's shorter but better half.
Absolutely.
And so she's going to be asking us questions.
And I've got some mild and really spicy questions.
So if you've ever watched the show Hot Ones, you know what we're in store for, because it's going to be hot spicy questions and hot spicy noodles. And then me, of course, I'm Greg Rhodes. I'm the lead pastor around River Life, and for some reason I thought of this ridiculous idea to raise some money for River Life and partner with this great organization to increase generosity and encourage it in you. So that's a little rundown of what this is about. And let me give you a little lowdown on the noodles we've got here. So as you can see some of them in front here. Okay, we're starting off with Shin. It's Shin Gourmet Spicy, but it's only half spice level. We figured that we had to start pretty mild because it gets much worse. So we'll start with some Shin very shortly. And then next one up is some Hua Ramyun. And this one is labeled hot and spicy. Now we did have a debate among us how to pronounce this. HWA. So if you know how to pronounce that, post in the comments, because we are going, is it just HWA like NWA? Is it Hua? 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 We don't know, because we're clearly ignorant of this type of noodle. Okay, so that's the big glass bowl here. And then next up is the famous Bulldog. And this one is the 2X Spicy. Right, okay. And we know some of you have had the 2X Spicy for sure. And apparently I found online they have made a 3X Spicy. But it was just promotional. And Con and I seem to recall a 4X Spicy. But I couldn't find it at all online. So maybe 3X was the only one that they had. But 2X is what they stock. So that's the classic Bulldog right here. And then there is a new contender on the block here. And that I've never heard of this one, but I found it at Hatien. This is the Volcano Chicken Noodle. And I kid you not, our whole kitchen smells like this right now. Pang just leaned over and nearly passed out.
Yeah, choked.
Right, she visibly choked on the smell. I had to rinse out the bowl in the sink because literally just walking by it makes you go, ew. Yeah, so I am looking forward to eating this one because that means that y'all are giving till it hurts because you know it's going to hurt here. So that's the deal for today. This is a fundraiser. part of Giving Tuesday to encourage generosity in you, because we need a world full of generous people, and we need a church full of generous people, and God desires a body full of generous people. Yes. So the bottom line is, it's time to give.
Awesome.
So we started this before we even went live. We already, how much did we have all before that? Before we went live,
We had $2.90 before we went live.
We already had $2.90. So that means we should dive into some ramen right away.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Quickly, Greg.
Yes.
Who else is in the room or behind the camera?
Ah, yes. And so we also have my wife, Pamphor. Poke your head around. She's on tech support, so God help us all. and our intern gang is upstairs finishing a paper for school. So if this gets really bad and we start screaming, if you see someone running down the stairs in a panic, halfway dialing 911, then that's going to be him. And then we've got Chip and Pebbles upstairs. They're hanging out in the bedroom.
Can you show us what's under the tables?
What's under the tables? I don't know.
Oh, buckets.
There.
Oh, yes, we forgot to mention, yes, we did bring buckets. So, you know, because who knows how this might go. We also have some milk, a classic for eating spicy things. We've got some water. We've also got some Diet Pepsi and some seltzer. We're going to do some tests to see if that makes it better or worse, because we don't know.
Okay.
Okay, so we started with $2.90. What are we up to now?
$410 already.
Woo!
Thank you
Wow!
so much.
Thank you. You all are amazing. So I think it's time to eat some ramen.
Cheers.
Cheers. Okay. So yeah, and this is Shin Gourmet Spicy, only half spice though. So
Wonderful. Okay, so here's the first mild question. To you, Greg, how did River Life get started? Yeah, you go first.
okay. Well, Pamphor and I were attending Hmong American Alliance Church, serving, and I was serving in the youth. Pamphor was serving in the Natchez, and what we saw over and over again was the young people being really disappointed and disillusioned with church. They found they just weren't being spiritually fed in the way their parents were. And so, I mean, we all know the story. They get old enough and they stop coming. And we saw that for year after year. Okay, I have learned that projecting and eating spicy is an interesting combination.
Huh.
So,
Okay.
yeah, so I'm going to talk really softly now. No. And so what we saw is so many second gen leaving the church, and it just broke our hearts.
Yeah.
And we wished there was a place that could be spiritually meaningful and significant and fruitful for them. And that's what birthed River Life. The idea of creating a space from the ground up to meet and serve and feed and empower and train and build up second gen Hmong.
Praise the Lord for your obedience.
Oh.
Kong, this question is for you.
Yes.
What was your first impressions after visiting River Life Church?
I fell in love with it. I absolutely loved River Life. And so,
Chopsticks.
struggle.
The struggle is real.
Struggle is real. I absolutely loved it. And so at first I was hesitant to come to River Life. I was kind of caught in this place of wanting to be a part of a church where I had all generations, and then wanted also to be a part of a church that was focused on the next generation. And so I was caught in a rift of like, I don't know if River Life's the right place for me. But Peng and I, we took a little break from ministry and we decided to visit. And as soon as I walked in and people started greeting me, I just fell in love with it. I knew right away I needed to be at River Life. And so, yeah.
Thank you, Kong.
Okay, so the next spice level for noodles comes at $500.
Okay.
Where are we at now?
Let me check.
Okay.
Come on.
He's refreshing the screen, and I am cleaning the noodle guck off my glasses.
We're at $450.
All
Okay.
right.
$450.
$50 more.
$50. Let's go. Let's amp up the spice levels here.
Yep.
Okay, here's another mild question.
Okay.
You both have worked in youth ministry. What's one thing you miss about youth ministry days?
Okay, this is going to sound really funny. It's ridiculous stuff like this. Like, I wish I could play fart videos and games in church service. I could do that all the time in youth ministry. but like, big people church is far too serious to play ridiculous YouTube videos and play silly games. So I actually really miss that.
Yeah.
And so this kind of flashes me back to those youth min days, eating crazy stuff. So that's what I miss.
Good answer. Thank you, Greg. How about you, Kong? What do you miss about youth ministry?
And then before I answer a question, Lee heard mention we gotta eat like Korean people. We gotta slurp it. So this
Okay. This one's for you.
We're doing a little ASMR tonight too.
Okay.
Nice.
Dude, I think you're a better slurper than I am.
I've had 37 years of practice. What do I miss about youth ministry?
Yes.
Oh man, what do I miss about youth ministry? I think this also has to do with age, but I started doing youth ministry from a very early age, and so I miss having the energy to stay up late all night, to do like Greg mentioned, to do crazy things like this, and not have it impact you. I am secretly like super scared, like I'm just gonna be like super groggy tomorrow because of the like sodium overdose, and so just doing whatever and not really worrying about how it's gonna impact me. But I'm like, man, are we gonna regret this tomorrow, Greg?
Oh, absolutely.
Tommy, Jeremy, if you guys are watching, you guys might have to hold down the office tomorrow. We might have a sick day or something.
Yeah, I might be working out of my second office tomorrow, if you know what I mean.
Okay, follow-up question to that.
Okay.
From what I understand, neither one of you have served in kids ministries, right?
No.
Okay, so
I had 6 months
okay,
teaching a Sunday school class. I interned at a church the year out of college. It was a big SoCal mega church, and part of the assignment was I had to teach one of the Sunday school classes.
okay,
Last time I ever did that.
got it.
Yeah. So okay.
If you did spend a day with River Kids, what would be something you would be most worried or nervous about in teaching kids?
Most nervous about teaching kids. I think that I would go on for a 35-minute sermon.
They would be worried about that too.
Yes. But in all reality, I think it would be that I would talk above them. And I'm so used to talking to adults. I mean, it's been a good 8 years since I've taught teenagers. And so I've sort of adjusted my language and my teaching and to adults, kind of young adults and old adults. And so I think that'd be my fear, is that I would have to work really hard to be able to talk to like 4th graders and 3rd graders. And then if I just fail, then I fall back on fart jokes. And then everyone laughs, and then I get a bye.
Then you'll be great again.
Right.
Right back in.
Yes, exactly.
How about you, Kong?
Well, before I answer, we're at 525.
Woo-woo!
Okay.
We're leveling up now.
You are all amazing. So that means we're above 5, which means it's time to level up. This one is to the Palda Hua Ramyun right here. Okay. So those are done.
Moving on to the next stuff.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. Next question. I'm gonna up the ante on our spice level of questions.
Okay.
If you could give all human beings one superpower, the same superpower, what would it be?
Kindness. I would want our world to have the superpower of kindness.
Yeah.
Yep.
Beautiful answer.
Thank you.
from a pastor.
Yeah, and that is the end of the serious portion of this. Okay, yeah, this one is a little hotter.
It's a little
You're tasting it as well, okay? Yep.
How about you, Colin? What would be one superpower you would give to human beings?
One superpower to give to human beings. One superpower to give to human beings.
The ability to make a decision?
Right. I need that one right now. I'm just trying to think of like what would be helpful to everyone. I don't know. I like timeliness, so I don't know. Maybe everyone shows up on time.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right.
Okay, now if I were to do a non-serious one,
Yes.
I think the world could be better off if we all were able to talk to dogs. If we were able to understand dogs,
Got it.
they love unconditionally. They love to cuddle.
Yeah.
And then, just our luck, we'd find out that dogs are actually jerks. No, I don't think so. So
Kind of reminds me of those shows where or videos where they know how to speak the language but they don't speak it, and like the people who are speaking the language are talking mad junk about them, and they start breaking out into the language, and all of a sudden like, oh shoot, this guy knew what we were talking about.
That was actually my initial motivation of trying to learn Hmong.
Oh.
Because I just think that would be hilarious. I'm standing in line in Hmong Village, and some person behind me is like, what's this Maga guy doing here? Dude, he should just go to Burger King or something. And then I just spin around and start talking Hmong smack back at him. I thought I would relish that opportunity, but I never got good enough to be able to talk Hmong smack. So
Finance update, we're at $900.
Wait, what?
$925.
Okay.
okay, we're about to upgrade. Okay, so 1,000 means we upgrade. And just to let you know what's on scale here. Okay, so this is what we're eating right now. Mildly, okay, and it's got some spice. This is baldock. So this is a no-joke jump right here.
I'm getting ready.
Okay. So there we go. So $9.25. Okay, $75.
$75.
One of you can right now click that link. Apple Pay that bad boy right there. $75. Boom.
Perfect.
And I think we're jumping from like 1,000 skull units to like 10,000.
I know, it's just like whee.
It's a big jump.
So for $75, you can multiply this by what? 10,000.
That is an amazing deal of skull-filled units.
Yep.
That is so many skull-filled units you're getting for a mere $75.
Right.
Like Walmart can't even match that deal.
Okay, let me squeeze a mild
Okay,
last
there we go.
mild question, possibly.
We'll do one more bite here. Yep, we're waiting on just a few.
All right.
Okay.
So, as a pastor, what is your greatest joy in your role?
We're at $975. So
Dang!
$25.
25.
Moving on to the bulldog.
Okay.
Greatest joy as a pastor.
I love... So one of my strengths finders, or Clifton Strengths as it's called now, is I'm a builder. And so I love to build new things and bring people around me who can build new great things. And to see these new things built really meeting needs and helping people connect with God better, grow in their faith, love other people better, see the Bible differently. And yeah, so that one actually, so I was about 10 seconds into that answer, and I thought of another one, which I would probably put above, like a close first above that one, is I love to empower other leaders.
Yeah.
And before I dreamt of having an amazing team around us. I even remember watching Glee back in the first or second season. And this was long before River Life. And I remember I actually started crying because I longed for a team that was that good together. And now I have it. And what greater joy is to be able to empower people and raise people up and unleash them to be able to do what they love to do.
Yeah.
So that probably would be first, and then the other one's like maybe like 1.5 after that. Okay.
A plus
Ooh,
answer.
thank you.
All right, financial update. We're at 1,200.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Colin, can you answer that last mild question?
Remind me of the question again.
The question was, what is your greatest joy as a pastor?
I think one of it is sometimes one thing for me personally is even though I went to Bible school, Bible college, and learned about the Bible,
hot water.
You know, even I sometimes have trouble trying to understand what the Bible is saying so that I can preach to the congregation. And so when I'm able to do that, and when I'm able to teach the congregation what it means, and when the congregation is able to understand, they're like, oh, that's what it means. It's always, it's always fun seeing that light bulb come on for people to understand that, oh, this is what it means. And so I think, again, just making the scripture truth relevant so that other people can understand, again, seeing that the light bulb go off, and then for them to be able to say it back in a way that how they understand it. So yeah, just making it go along. So
Answered like a true pastor educator. Thank you.
Well, we before we dive into this, we're getting a little bit of hot water because, as it turns out, as Pang warned us, that the noodles are a little thick.
Okay.
Because these are the stir fry, so it's just one glob right now.
Yeah,
so,
they're actually not bad.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna. I'm just gonna splash a little bit of hot water, not enough to dilute it at all, because that wouldn't be fair. Okay. And just enough there. Just enough to loosen them up so I'm not eating a giant glob of spicy bulldog. There we go.
Okay.
Okay.
We're gonna up the ante on spicy questions. Here we go.
Bring
Here
it.
we go.
So you two just shared your greatest joy in your work as pastors.
Okay.
Were there ever times where you wanted to quit ministry, quit being a pastor?
Okay. Yeah, this is a little spicier for sure.
Ooh, okay.
I haven't tried it yet.
Okay, yeah. Wow, yeah, this is like a chili pepper spice. This is like my whole mouth is just humming right now. And not a fun tune.
Okay.
More so still manageable. Okay, well, so there were a few. Right. That's we're not kidding here.
My
Wow.
spice tolerance is pathetic. I've just entered a world of pain.
Yes. Okay. So times I've wanted to quit. There are a few times I can remember. I mean, the most recent, or probably the strongest was during the pandemic, when we first started live broadcasting from the house during the stay-at-home order, and yeah, and be careful not to let a little saliva come back up, because that is difficult.
I'm scared. I'm gonna wipe my eye at one point.
Don't do that.
We're in for it.
Okay. Yep, we got to keep going. And so we had it live streamed before, and I was doing it from the house. And I think in retrospect, we tried to do too much. I tried to do too much. There was that period where I kind of have jokingly described myself as I was pastor and producer.
Yeah.
And if you were watching us early in the days of the pandemic, then you know. See, dude, I started shaking uncontrollably. What was that? Am I having a stroke? Do I smell eggs? Whoa.
I saw that.
Dude,
Yeah.
Did you see that? Did you see that? What was that? Wow, okay, I just have to eat more then.
Okay.
I'm going to make it. Ooh, do it again. Okay.
You mentioned you had a tingling feel, right?
Yeah.
I'm getting that right now.
Okay. And so almost every week something was going wrong, and those were probably the worst Sundays during the first 3 months of the pandemic. Were probably the worst days of me as a pastor at River Life, because so much was my responsibility being stuck here at home.
Yeah.
And when things went wrong, I really beat myself up over it. And I remember storming out of the room, our broadcast room, just furious, trying to find some adapter and something here and there. And yeah, I've never before and never after been that angry on Sundays.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you for your honesty, Greg.
Thank you.
All right, Greg. Kong, how about you? Has there ever been a moment where you wanted to quit ministry, quit being a pastor?
Financial update, I'll answer that question. We're at 1,441.
Dang!
Okay.
Okay, man, that means we are, what, $59 away from Volcano Chicken Noodle. Oh, okay, stop giving. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Keep giving. You know it's getting spicy now when our noses are starting to drip.
Well, you can see a little tear coming right now.
Wipe with napkins,
Yes,
not with your hands.
Okay, wipe with napkins, not with my
And
hands.
don't wipe your mouth.
Fish are friends, not food. Okay.
Okay, the question was, has there ever been a moment where I want to quit?
Does
Yes.
right now count?
I think so. Just kidding.
No.
I think mine's a little different, and so for me, I think I've always been insecure of what I have to offer. I always feel like I'm not good enough or don't offer enough, and so if anything, wanting to quit, it's like, man, I don't know if I'm good enough to be a pastor for this amazing congregation I get to be a part of. And so, if anything, I think insecurities have kept me at bay and have brought thoughts of like, maybe this isn't the right place for me. Maybe I need to work somewhere else. And so, not so much, the job and the responsibility and ministering itself, but my own insecurities. And so, yeah.
Thank you for being vulnerable.
Yeah, you're welcome. I guess this is what spicy noodles do to you, right?
Yes.
Forget about
Be
truth
vulnerable.
serum.
Right. It is a truth serum.
It is a truth serum.
There we go.
Okay, yeah, now my lips are hot. I think it's migrated from my mouth, my throat, back to my mouth, out to my lips. Pretty soon, I think it's just going to crawl right up my nose. Okay. Okay.
I got a tear like right down here.
I was watching that. That was like classic movie single tear. I could have done that if I tried.
Okay, here's the next spicy question. Would you rather relive the first year of the pandemic,
In light of my answer.
right,
Okay, keep going.
or the first 5 years of your marriage to your spouse? Which would you rather relive? The first year, or you could eat your whole cup and not answer.
Okay.
First year of the pandemic, or first 5 years of your marriage?
Okay, I'm going to go first 5 years of my marriage.
You would rather relive that?
Yes.
Okay.
And the reason is because I was oblivious.
Ah.
I was so clueless as a husband.
Yeah.
One, I had no idea the amount of pain my wife was going through. Nor did I really realize how mean she was able to be. And I just kind of went with it. And I don't know what I thought. Because I wasn't really thinking. I was so clueless as for like what husbanding. I almost said husbandry, but isn't that like plant growing? Not husbandry. I'm still oblivious about husbandry. But yeah, so I mean, later on as I grew more, then I realized. So like, yeah, I'd have to live through a sucky like year 3, 4, or 5 maybe, but I'd have a couple of years of being oblivious and living in Southern California. So being dumb and warm is sometimes better than smart and cold here in Minnesota. Is that a thing?
And living through a pandemic.
Right.
There we go.
Okay, so there you go.
Okay. Thank you, Greg. How about you, Kong? Would you rather relive the first year of the pandemic or the first 5 years of your marriage?
You know, it's a good question. I feel like our first 5 years of marriage were pretty good. Minus our financial habits. We were so bad with finances. We're like, two incomes, we could buy whatever we wanted. So we just bought a bunch of stupid things.
Yes.
I don't think there was anything that I can think of in our first 5 years of marriage where I'm like, that was a good investment.
Agreed. Yeah. We purchased like a projector. I mean, it was just ridiculous.
Yeah, it was a cheap projector too.
Yes.
So I think, looking back at the first year of COVID, where people were able to develop skills, whether it was to start an Etsy shop or find different ways to earn money or different skills. I know between Greg, Jeremy, video editing skills went out the roof. I still don't know how to edit video for the life of me. And so part of me is like, man, I think I would go back to the beginning of the pandemic and learn a good skill edit videos or help stream. And so
Thank you, Kong.
Yeah.
Any updates, Kong, or should I move to the next spicy question?
Yeah, we're at 1,540.
Oh man.
Woo!
Okay.
Are we upping the ante now?
We're up in the ante.
Okay, this
Now,
is the...
and so here's the deal. If we go above 2, we're going to go back to the Bulldog, but get another pack of spice to add to it.
Oh boy.
I know. So someone on YouTube said that, so apparently the volcano chicken noodle is fairly new on the market. And so it hasn't been Schofield rated yet, but someone on YouTube who did a taste test said that this one was spicier.
Okay.
So let's get a little bit more warm water in here to loosen the noodles up.
Lee gave us a tip. Lee said to fight the heat, rinse mouth with warm water.
Okay.
It will increase the burn faster. But he did say not scalding. That would just be painful.
All right,
Okay, let's try this.
Warm water.
Okay. And then rinse it out. Does that mean we have to spit it out?
Rinse out your mouth and swallow.
Okay.
I think, yes. Or your buckets next to you.
Bet you never heard your pastor gargle before. Wow.
Actually, you never seen your pastor do a whole bunch of different things.
That's true. There's a whole lot here that you would probably not see me done. Lee, this is actually a good tip here.
It's not bad.
Okay.
I think initially when the water hits the heat,
Yes.
it's like double, and then it's
Yes.
soothes it a little.
Agreed.
Okay.
I gotta blow my nose. It's starting to get heavy once again. So I got snot flowing. He got tears flowing.
Okay.
We are practically 2 seconds away from a Taylor Swift breakup song.
Right, yeah. Forget about the 5 inches of snow we had sitting outside and, sniffling because it's cold or sniffling because it's too hot.
Okay.
Here's a comment from Josh, Greg. I forgot that no one pounds water and pop like Pastor Greg.
That is true, man. Yeah. There's a reason before I set out 3 bottles here, because that is entirely possible.
Okay, here's our next spicy question.
Okay.
When you were younger, what did you get into the most trouble for?
Ooh.
We want to know.
Now, is this most frequent or most serious?
You choose.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, take a little swig here. Grab your noodle. We eat this in unison.
All right.
And then cry together.
Eesh. I got the chills just thinking about it.
Okay. Okay. That was a maybe quarter close call. I think this is spicier.
I can't tell. This is hot.
Wow. I'm chewing this slowly because the first gulp I swallowed, let's just say it didn't settle in entirely into the lower bunk. Whew.
I can start to feel my stomach just churning like this spice.
Oh no.
I mean,
Yeah.
the awesome thing about the spicy noodles is that it's very flavorful. It's not. It's just not hot.
I give it. This is really flavorful. Yeah.
I mean, I'm thinking about like Buffalo Wild Wings, like their blazing flavor. Like that's just painful hot. It's just you don't even enjoy it. I mean, this is at least tasty. So.
It looks good.
Okay, so we'll do the most serious because honestly, like I was a good kid.
Okay.
I did not get into trouble much. Now, Shannon, if you're watching this, you can comment into how I got into trouble. That's my sister Shannon.
Tell
out
us, Shannon.
California. But I can tell you the most trouble I got was. So I was a little older than a child, but I was 16. I just got my license, and I was driving. So I had this little tiny Toyota Tercel. Okay, just to let you know what the Toyota Tercel was, take the Corolla and go one level down.
How'd you fit in that thing, Greg?
I had to tilt the seat back.
Oh, wow.
I kid you not. I had to pop the seat back a little bit, otherwise my head would rub on
my word.
the roof, the ceiling. So my little Toyota Tercel, I was not a good car carer of, and I let my tires, eventually I let one of my tires, it was a used car, one of my tires got so bald, the metal radials were showing.
Whoa.
Yeah. And I didn't know what that was even. I didn't check my tires, and so then one time it went flat, and I had to call my parents. My dad, who, not a car guy, but he knew cars, had to take care of them. So when he came and saw that I got a flat because my tire, like, dude, it was as bald as me, okay? That's how bad my tire was. And the little metal tines were sticking out. Yeah, so I had my car taken away for a week and got quite a tongue lashing from my very responsible father. So that was the biggest time or the most in trouble I had gotten.
Okay. Thank you, Pastor Greg.
Yeah.
Little teenager Greg.
Yes.
Who's not little, very tall. How about you, Kong? What did you get in the most trouble or the most memorable trouble for?
I think just playing video games just too long. And so, like, after mom or dad would say, like, go do the dishes or take out the trash or clean your room, like, after the 5th, 6th, maybe 10th, 11th time. Again, man, like, just playing video games too much, and again, haven't had one too many reminders will often get us into trouble. And so that was my Achilles. That's what got me in trouble.
Okay, hardcore gamer there, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, well, we want to take a break from this mostly because we have to, just to say thank you for your generosity. Thank you for believing in generosity, in giving. Thank you for loving River Life. And I know, like, a lot of you give for a whole bunch of different reasons. So I just want to say thank you for all of those. Some of you give because you believe it's part of your obedience to God. Some of you give because you love the mission of River Life. Some of you give because maybe you love me or you believe in Kong. Some of you give just because you're enjoying this live stream and you want to watch us keep eating this stuff. So, whatever your reasons for giving, thank you. We love you. We are so grateful to you. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And with that, a quick financial update, we're at 1,651.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
Okay.
Oh. I'm telling you, man. Like, okay, y'all. I think if I were to pound this whole thing, I might have to utilize the bucket. I don't know what is it about this spice combination that my stomach is reacting to, but it didn't have that at all. Like with the bulldog, it was just spicy. Yeah. This is genuinely like coming down, elevator coming back up.
Yeah. I don't know if it helped that I drank Diet Pepsi too, the carbonation. That might be it.
I'm going to see how many metaphors for vomiting I can come up with in tonight's live stream. And hopefully Noodles is not one of those things that I come up with. Okay.
Elaine, thanks for giving me because I'm wearing a Charizard shirt. I hope that by the end of this I become Charizard.
Oh, nice.
You'll just burst into flames at that point?
Right. If I do that, I'll just run around the neighborhood so that everyone's like driveway came out from all the snow that we got.
There you go. Okay, yeah, no, okay. Let's talk about Charizard. Is he all? I know his tail has a flame, right?
Yep.
Is he all flame?
No, his tail's flame, and then he spits fire like your typical dragon. And so.
Okay, so his tail is fire, and then he spits fire,
Yep.
but not from this wing or this wing.
Nope.
I've always just wanted to sit here and poke Kong in the chest. Now I had the perfect excuse for it. Okay.
All
Keep
right.
going.
Okay, next one. How did you know God called you to be a pastor?
So, here's the thing you might not know about me. I never anticipated that I would lead a church. I was in youth ministry for like 20 years. And by the time if you hit 50 and you're in youth ministry, you pretty much expect that you're a lifer. I used to joke that I'd be able to, I would be like 70 and 80 still in youth ministry, and I could beat everybody in Chubby Bunny because I could just pop out my teeth and shove all the marshmallows in my mouth and just beat everybody. So I never expected this. When Pavon and I moved out to the Twin Cities, people were going, "Oh, you two should plant a church," and we're like, "No, we don't want to." I was never expecting this, and really what it was seeing so many young second-gen Hmong hurting and giving up hope in the church, and maybe even hope in their families or their culture. And that was the thing that kind of changed what I expected to just be a youth min volunteer. Even I wasn't even a paid person. You might not know this. Also, this is my first paid position in a church ever. I was always both of us. We are always volunteers, and so something changed. And I have always looked at calling. I think a lot of biblical calling is kind of the voice of God from heaven, or a burning bush, or writing on the wall. And for me, calling has been more about a long, slow, persistent love for ministry. And that's what I've been over the last 25, 30 years even. And so then all of a sudden I'm like, I think God, as we were watching all these people hurting and leaving the church, I was like, is this possibly what God is calling me to?
Yeah.
And I think it was. And so I said yes to God.
Yeah.
And I said yes to this thing that I never thought that I would be doing. And I'm so glad I did.
Yeah.
And I'm so thankful for those yeses of obedience that we all take.
Yes.
Even us at the table have taken yeses of obedience. You've taken yeses of obedience. So that's that. It was there was never kind of a voice from heaven, or there was never like a. See, now I'm losing my ability to speak. That's the first sign of paralysis, by the way. Like a word from the Holy Spirit. It was this conclusion of what I had been doing already for a couple decades. And God said, "Okay, I've prepared you for something really unique. Here it is."
Yeah. Beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
I'd be curious from everybody else, and I love that, Greg, you said that. What have you said yes to God?
Oh yeah, let's hear some yeses
Yeah.
from all of you. Throw in the comments some
Yeah.
yeses of obedience that you give, and then we'll read and catch up and see what some of your yeses are.
Beautiful.
My foolish yes was saying yes to this thing. Oh man. Okay. So let's. Okay.
Thank you, Greg.
We gotta keep eating here. So okay, Kong.
How about you, Kong? How did you know God called you to be a pastor?
Oh, my first clue was back in 2000, and I remember one of the nights Dr. Yalom preached, and he invited some.
Sorry, that was a little close call.
Uh-oh. bucket is there.
Bucket is there, not here. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we might get banned from Facebook
Right.
if I projectile vomit into the camera. And I might never sleep in my bed again because before I was immediately behind the camera.
But yeah, back in 2000, that was my first flu. And flu's a conference that's hosted by the Malling District. They're part of our denomination, but they're under an ethnic district. And so Dr. Yolong preached a sermon, and he invited people to come up and if they felt called to ministry. And so I felt, the Holy Spirit tugged me up to the stage. And so that was maybe I was a freshman in high school. And then at that point, I knew I wanted to do youth ministry. But similar to Greg, I thought I was going to do youth ministry till the day I died. And so I think, if anything, hearing from God that I should be a pastor, or that pastoral, being a pastor, or this pastoral responsibility was something that I could do, came from the team, came from the ministry team. And so, so long story short, when we were in the process of looking for a campus pastor, it wasn't on my radar. And one day the team brought it to a meeting, and they're like, "What about you?" And I'm like, "Oh, I never thought about it." And so I went through the whole process, not really owning it, and not really thinking that I could do it. And so the team saw that I was capable. They affirmed me in it. And then I've told this story a million times, but going through something called Church Planners Assessment Center, all the assessors there affirmed me in it. And so many cases, I felt like all my community saw it, and I was the only one who didn't see it. So my community would affirm me in it. And after they affirmed me in it, I finally saw it. So.
Thank you, River Life Ministry team.
And River Life congregation. You guys are awesome.
Okay, so I just want to comment. So before I grabbed a couple mugs to get us some warm water. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have some of that. No, that one's yours. I'll have this one. Okay. Okay. This one says, never underestimate a woman powered by caffeine and prayer. Now, the man's version of this for tonight would have been, never underestimate a man powered by spicy noodles and stupidity. Okay, yeah. Kong is crushing this bowl here.
I just become numb. He's just like, I was like, at this point, whatever.
Okay, I did give the tagline for this thing that the more you give, the more we suffer. Okay, so I have a moral obligation to continue my suffering because you have been giving amazingly and generously. Yeah. So thank you. Okay.
And with that financial update, we're at $1,751.
Dang!
All right.
Okay.
Thank you so much. And then earlier we asked for some yes, and so I've got a couple.
Yes.
I got one yes I want to read, and so it's from Sherry. So Sherry says, yeses, several. Let's see, about 17 years ago, the Lord told me we needed to have another child. I said, okay. Physically, we could not, but after some research, I could not see how that was going to be doable. Prayed and told God if He wanted us to have another child, He would need to help me out. I was stuck. The next day, talking with one of my clients about the Lord talking to me about adopting a child, it turns out her daughter was giving up her baby, and would we want to adopt the baby? Yes, our baby is now 16 years. Best.
Wow. I have chills.
Sherry, that was a beautiful story.
Sherry, thank you so much.
Beautiful.
You almost made me forget my agonizing pain of my stomach right now.
Almost.
At least now we could cry happy tears instead of spicy tears.
Right. And if it means anything, Maylee, just send us a message. Can't help but think about you two tonight.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tommy had a question for you, Greg. What is one of your favorite memories from your old lifeguard days?
Okay, hands down. This was so. I'll give my second runner-up. Was the most serious call that I got. I was next door to one of the best body surfing locations in the world, and it's in Newport Beach. It's called the Wedge. I wasn't at that tower. I was at the tower next to it, and I got a call to assist the tower the guard over at the wedge tower because there was a potential spinal injury.
Oh.
That was heavy. It turned out that the guy was okay, but yeah, that was the most serious one. But my most memorable moment was I was yeah, you could tell, man. This is I'm having a dance party in my stomach, more like a rave fueled by ecstasy and anger. Because I am belching a lot here. And so I was at one of the more kind of popular tourist beaches. So lots of people, summer day, beaches packed. The waves were really mild. And I saw a younger kid, maybe 8, 9, 10, something like that, out in the water, and he was struggling a little bit. And so I started watching him a little bit more. And then I could tell he was getting tired, and so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go grab him. The waves were really mellow though. So, and normally what we always have our buoy and we have fins. I left my fins in the lifeguard tower because it was so mellow, so easy. Now that would be the point in the movie where the camera would linger on the fins, and everybody watching would be like, oh no! Dun dun dun!
Epic soundtrack moment.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'd swim out there, and then all of a sudden, a set of like 5 or 6 foot waves come out of nowhere.
Whoa.
And so what they do is that they train you, so it's a foam buoy. You wrap the kid in the foam, and then when waves come, you grab him, you hug him tight with your back to the water, and then you grab and you dive under the water and then push him up so he gets to the surface as quickly as possible.
Okay.
And we did that probably 2 or 3 times, and I was so tired. And I wishing I had my fins, but I just got, so they used to call it the washing machine. I was just getting tumbled hard. And there was a split moment where I wasn't sure if I was coming out. Because I was thrusting him to the surface and I was staying under. But thankfully the set of waves passed. He was okay. I was okay. I swam him into some very grateful parents.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's probably one of my best moments and kind of proudest moments to be able to help that kid in that moment. Yeah, so there's a little bit of the Baywatch days of the OC.
Thanks, Tommy, for that question.
Great question.
Kong, what was your most memorable or worst memory working at Best Buy?
Oh,
I didn't know you worked at Best Buy.
so my first job was Best Buy.
Get out of here!
So I didn't work at all until I graduated high school, and so take that back. We helped my dad. My dad owned a janitorial business, and so we worked with him. But then my first job, besides that, was working at Best Buy. And so the worst thing about that first job was lugging tube TVs. Yeah, it was like right at the cusp of like flat screens, but flat screens were still like, they weren't flat screens. They were like, the screen was flat, but it was still like a tube. And so, the Sony like Bravia, 36 inches, like they were like top of the line, and like people would come in and buy like 2 or 3 of them, and so you'd have to lug them out, and they were ridiculously heavy. They were like felt like 500 pounds.
Wow.
And then the worst was when you'd have a customer who'd buy like 2 of them, and they pulled up in like a Toyota Corolla, and they're like, I know this can fit in my car. And so after like taking them out of the box and then folding down the seat and putting the seats away in the trunk, you're like, this isn't gonna fit. So then of course the next fun thing was what are they gonna do with 2 open TVs, and they can't take them home, and so that was probably the worst part of my first job.
Thank you, Kong.
Okay, we're going to get a refresh on the computer while my stomach cries out for a tap-in replacement.
All right, financial update. We're at
All right.
Okay, I just want to get. I'm going to take a bite for whoever gave something in an increment of 1. You are awesome.
Yep.
You gave whatever. Maybe it was blah, maybe it was $51. Maybe it was $101. Maybe you just gave $1.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, you are awesome for giving such a weird amount. So this bite right here, this is for you, you $1 person. Not saying you're worth $1, but you made the total much more interesting.
I ran out of noodles and so I'm just gonna replenish noodles with the sauce.
Man, you killed that.
I have a request from Elaine.
Okay.
Long pepper.
Oh,
Okay. You posted this earlier. Okay. Okay. Long pepper. Here's the deal, though. You got to earn this. Okay. We have 1751. Okay. We won't even say 2000. We get to 19. Okay. So that is $150. $150. We'll take some of. I'm crying just thinking about it. Long pepper, adding it in. I think I'll add it to the bulldog because that I can probably eat a little better. The volcano chicken noodle I think has defeated me.
Greg, you spoke too soon.
Oh, get out of here! Do you not refill? Okay, we're above 2,000.
What?
2,000.
Okay.
Okay. Oh gosh. Wait, wasn't it the second 2,000?
Yeah. Okay. So we got a request for pepper. Okay.
So what if we do? What do you think? Pepper first, or we got an extra packet of the volcano?
Let's see. Okay. Yiling made the request. So how about this? Okay. I'll do the pepper. I'll do the hot sauce. You take some more of the sauce,
All right.
and we'll see what happens. Okay.
This is the volcano chicken noodle sauce.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Cheers.
Yeah. Oh my god.
All right.
I love close up. Well done. Well done. Oh, that is probably as much hot sauce as I eat in an entire meal. And now, Pang, I think was this your hot sauce that you made recently?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And it's basically just straight up chili pepper.
Straight up.
Yeah, you don't waste any time with that numpa or lime or definitely not cilantro or
Right.
no
cilantro.
Just straight chili peppers.
Chili pepper, garlic, and ginger.
Okay.
Yes. That's what you
You
are
know,
inhaling.
everything an upset stomach needs. Chili pepper, garlic, and ginger. Buy now at your local pharmacy.
Right. I think one reason why my spice tolerance is so low. Growing up, my mom used spice as a way to discipline us, and so instead of like the soap in the mouth, we got pepper in the mouth. Yeah, and so I didn't start eating pepper until like I was a teenager, because all my friends did. So I was like, I want to be cool with my friends too, and so yeah.
And meanwhile, you had like PTSD flashbacks of childhood, like playing too many video games.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, Lee's got a question for us.
Okay, question from the audience.
How did you meet your wife, and what is it that about your wife that told you this is the one?
Okay, so we first met at InterVarsity Christian Fellowship out at college, and for me, I had been in the group kind of on the fringe for most of my freshman year, whereas before was one of the core people in the fellowship. And one Sunday, or one Friday night, that's when we had it. One Friday night, I finally decided, okay, I've got to get to know people. So I'm gonna ask someone to do something afterwards. And so that week, a bunch of people were out, a bunch of the Koreans were out at a Korean fellowship retreat. And so the group was smaller, and so I went with kind of one of the more popular people in the group that I could see, which was Pamphua. And we went out to a movie, and we hit it off really well, and really enjoyed it, and we made out a little bit, and she was funny, and I liked her, and then we kind of started dating, much to the chagrin of her and her roommate. And then, and how did I know? What was it? How did I know?
She was the one.
Okay. Okay, I can tell you this one as well. We broke up. We broke up pretty much every summer, but this one was between junior and senior year, and this one. Sorry, I had a visitor there for a moment. Okay. And so, oh yeah, so we came back senior year, and we had broken up because she really kind of had to decide, like, was she really going to marry a white guy? And all of that entailed, the implications for her family, for her culture, everything. And by the end of the summer, she had sort of said, yeah, she was coming back to school, and I remember in our apartment was kind of the hangout for our group of friends, and there was a bunch of us there on the first day, like the day before classes or something. And I was on one side, and I looked across the room, and it was the first time I saw her from summer, and that was actually the moment that I said, I think I want to marry her. And she had this like rockin' 90s perm. Yeah. She is not in embarrassment right now. And I looked over, and she was just beautiful. And she was this person that I had been dating for 2.5 years. And I can't really explain what clicked, but something clicked. That was the moment. And then we got married after we graduated.
Oh, beautiful.
Okay.
All right, so I met Pang at the St. Paul campus. And so Pang and I grew up going to Calvary Alliance Church. I grew up going to Calvary all my life. Pang started attending, well, she visited first in 8th grade. And so the very first time I met her and her family came to visit, I was like, who is this beautiful young lady? And so she visited, and I was like, I hope they end up coming to, I hope they come and join this church, and eventually they did. And so from the get-go, I had a crush on Pang. I didn't tell her I liked her until sophomore in college. Yeah. So
7 years later.
I had this long old crush on her, and so.
You had a crush on Pang.
And so, the thing about Bible college is, when I was going to Bible college, oftentimes the conversations that would come up would be like, are there any prospects here who would be a good pastor's wife, a good nesifu? I wasn't very fond of the question. I just wanted to find someone who loved God. I didn't know what ministry I was going to do, what capacity that looked like. But because the conversation was always there, it would pop in my mind from time to time, and I found myself always thinking about Pang, of someone who loved God, and someone who I'd love to do ministry with, and someone who I'd love to just simply be with. And so from 8th grade, oh, there we go.
There we go. That last one just did. It went up my nose. Oh my god! How does spice get into your nose? Oh my gosh! Okay. Sorry, I just ruined your perfectly good moment.
Oh, you're good.
With my snarfing. Oh,
it's part of it. Part of the evening and stuff. So yeah.
Love you, hon. Also, warm water in that mug right there.
Thank you.
Wow. Okay, I think it was the second scoop of hot sauce that did it in. Okay, and just to let you know, so I scooped the second one in just to keep going, because that's what I committed to here for this hour. And before sitting 10 feet away, waving, saying, I can smell it. So too bad we can't live stream in smell-o-vision, because y'all would just be passing. Wow. Okay, I've had so much chlorine up my nose over the course of my life. And chlorine up the nose burns. That is nothing compared to how my nose. In fact, I want to snort chlorine water. I want to stick my head in a pool and just breathe in through my nose. That would be a release for me right now. Oh my gosh. Because I think like the coming back up. Maybe that's what it was. Like wow. So now my mouth has this wonderful taste of like spicy noodle, hutzah, and bile and regret.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
What a combination.
I know, what a combination. Okay.
All right, couple more?
A couple more.
Yeah.
Okay, a couple more spicy questions. Would you both be willing to share one of your fears? What are you afraid of?
Okay. So here you go. I am deeply afraid that I will not be liked. And even worse, I'm even more deeply afraid that I'm unlikable. And that's kind of my core childhood wound. I think we all carry these wounds, and so I feel it almost everywhere. I feel it at River Life. There are times before or after service where I'm having to talk my way out, pray my way out, cry my way out, of feeling so fearful, so afraid that people don't like me. And I'm better than I was as a kid. So thanks to God for His redemptive work and that sanctification. But I would love to say it's completely gone, and I don't know whether it will be completely gone this side of heaven. But I look forward to that day when that fear of mine is redeemed completely. So I am actually a very fearful person of how people see me and whether they like me or not.
Thank you, Greg, for sharing.
Welcome.
He is human.
Yes. If me vomiting on camera wasn't enough to demonstrate that.
Are noodles coming out of your nose?
Yes.
Okay.
Which, by the way, I've actually done. Okay, a little side note. Speaking of college, did you know that you can snort a noodle through your nose and back out your mouth?
Ugh.
That is true. Now, not a spicy noodle. You would just die. But a regular spaghetti noodle. I did that on a dare in college once, and I have the picture to prove it. So yeah, you can snort it up your nose and then have it come out your mouth. And it even got so good I was able to go,
You were flossing your nose and,
Yes.
and throat. Okay.
Exactly.
Gross.
Okay, yeah, so, back to...
Human and gross.
Thank you, yes.
Thank you, Greg.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Thank you for your honesty and vulnerability and your fear.
You're welcome. And I also use humor to diffuse uncomfortable situations. So, there you go.
Also human.
Yes, also human.
How about you, Kong?
Kong.
What are you? What is one of your fears?
What are my fears? I think a sense of not being good enough, and so I think oftentimes I find myself comparing myself to others and trying to figure out where I fit, on the totem pole, making sure that I don't have to be the best, but at least I'm not the worst. And so always a sense of I'm not good enough, and so making sure that I'm somewhere above, not the worst, but I don't have to necessarily be the best. And so it comes in all forms and fashions. And so I think one thing that I do is I have rotating hobbies, and I often compare what I have to other people, and so sometimes that's one way that makes me feel like, oh, okay, I'm okay. I know where I fit in the totem pole, and so whether it's things I like to do or things I like to collect or whatever it may be, and so again, just a sense of not being good enough. So yeah.
Thank you for sharing, Kong.
Well, I think that answer was good enough.
Thank you.
Yes. And River Life, Life Church, as our pastors share openly about their fears, please pray for them. Pray victory over their lives and victory over these lies. Yeah.
Amen.
Thank you.
Well, let's get a check-in online. So, how's our total looking?
We're at
Wow.
$2,000.76. $2,076.
You
Okay.
all are incredible.
$2,076.
Thank you so much. We said we'd do this for an hour. We passed 8. Let's check on online. Anyone else saying anything? Who's jumping out? Hey, I see Sai. Hey, I know it was pretty nasty. I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. Elaine, this is his worst nightmare, eating spicy stuff, interview all live on Facebook.
Hey, but Elaine, I got to give it to you. The adding hot sauce into the noodles, that was actually a solid idea. Like, if I had done that with a milder version, I think that would have come out just delicious. Mm-hmm. The spicy version just sent it over the edge for me. But good call. I like that. Yeah. Okay, you got one more humdinger to end us
Yes,
on?
I do. Okay, another really spicy one.
Okay.
What is your most painful memory?
Woof. Okay.
And not this moment.
Well, this is a story that I've told partially during service as part of my childhood, and but what I haven't given all of the details, and so for you watching and whoever might also be watching this after, you get a little more of the painful details. And so I talked about. So first, I was bullied a lot as a kid, and 6th grade was really where it got the worst, and it had gotten pretty bad. And there was a group of people, a group of boys in my class who were kind of behind it, and there was one guy in particular who was kind of the worst of it. And usually when I tell this story, I just talk about it. It had gotten so bad that the principal got involved, and the parents made him come and apologize to me and all of that. But the part that I usually leave out is what made it so bad. And so we had a summer, like a overnight camp, like a weekend camp, I think, at the end of 6th grade. It was our elementary was up to 6th grade. Oh, that was dangerous. Clean napkin. Oh yes, and Kleenex. There you go. Okay. And so it was the big deal for 6th grade, and so we all went off on this. And on the last day, we were getting ready to go on the bus, and so our cabin counselor told a whole group of guys there. Obviously, everyone was using the bathroom, so he was like, "Okay, just go out into the fields, go out into the woods behind the camp." And so, being a bunch of 6th grade boys, we all went out to pee in the woods. Well, what I didn't realize was when I was peeing downhill, this guy was uphill. And so then he proceeded to pee all over me. And one thing to understand about me as a 6th grader, I was an ardent pacifist. So I never fought back to people or against people. And so then he took me and kind of led me by the arm to show me off to his friends. And I just went along with it. And he took me to where everyone was gathering in the parking lot in front of the bus to show me off to his friends. So that was the incident that got things serious enough that principals and parents had to be involved. Now I also add in about 6 years later, I had become a Christian, and one of my really good Christian friends who I really admired, he went on a missions trip, and the Sunday they got back, he came in and said, Greg, I got to introduce you to this guy, this amazing guy who was on the trip. And we walked out the door, and he said, Greg, meet John. Mm-hmm. And it was him. and I had a moment where I had to decide how I was going to react. And I had years of developing a revenge fantasy against this guy. And at that point, I finally had the muscles to do something about it. And in that moment, I decided that I had to forgive him because Jesus forgave me. And that's the beauty of being kind of a brand new Christian, is it wasn't even really a choice. And so we said hi and we walked away. I found him later that day at youth group and said, hey, do you remember? And I didn't even complete the story. And he said, yes, I do. And he started to apologize, and I immediately jumped in to say I forgive him. And that was very much a defining moment for my life. And I've never really been a vengeful person or a spiteful person. And it was all because of that. So God took something horrific and turned it into something incredible and faith-filled. So, yeah, that is one of my most painful and in turn one of my best moments.
Every time Greg shares this story, I always cry. Every time. Thank you, Greg, for sharing.
You're welcome. And it distracted me from the noodles. So I feel a little better now.
How about you, Colin?
Most painful memory?
Yes.
I think for me, first one that comes up to my mind is seeing my dad cry. And so I've only seen my dad cry twice. One being being grandma's funeral, so when his mom passed away, I saw him cry. And then the second time was because I was just in a rebellious stage of my life. And by rebellious, I mean, we were pretty good kids, but I forgot what had happened. Like, me and my younger brother had gotten into a bit of a scuffle. It just kept on escalating over and over again, to a point where, my dad had to really discipline me. And so after he got done, I was just furious at him, super mad. And, I was like on the verge of like, I'm going to walk out, I'm going to run away or whatever. I forgot what I said, but it was bad enough that after getting disciplined, and after he cooled down, he came back into my room, didn't say a word, he just started crying. And so seeing your dad cry, who never cries, I just don't know what to do. And so I think that was the most painful, that I hurt him so much to the point where he shed tears.
Yeah.
And, so, and his cry was, to this day I still hear it, because again, it's something that like you experience once, and it's like you just don't know what to do with it. And so it was just, it's still like his cry. It still plays in my mind as I talk about this, of just how painful it was. And again, it was seeing that the only other time he cried was when his mom passed away. It's like, wow. It was, I had done something like terrible. So,
Did you ever talk to him or ask him about that moment?
I don't think we ever talked about it looking back, but I think one thing I appreciate about my parents is we did get disciplined, but we would often they would often tell us why. We'd have conversations about it. And so I think in his attempt to talk about why, he was just so hurt that all came out was just tears. And so.
Wow. Thank you, hon, for sharing.
Yeah.
That is really neat. And I know your dad, and so...
Thank you, too. That's the last of him.
All right.
Awesome.
Hey, well, River Life fam, Facebook fam, you are amazing. Thanks for watching. We hope we brought some joy and some tears and a little bit of vomit to you on a Tuesday night.
Thank you so much. And our final count for this evening is $2,076. I'll throw in the link of where you can give, and so if you still want to give after this, feel free to do so. I don't know what's more impressive, your generosity or just your willingness to stick around with us for the last hour 15 minutes.
Serious.
So thank you. You are amazing. I hope to see you in service or online. And we just thank you for your generosity and your support of us and River Life and all things kingdom work around. Man, I'm still belching. Ooh, wow.
We love you, River Life.
Yep. Love you, everybody.
Good night.
Okay. Good night.
Good night.